In today's episode, we're going to be reacting to some of the craziest UFO/drone videos we found on the internet today. Let's get into it.
When you go on an exorcism, what are you carrying with you?
This is the weapon, the rosary, my number one weapon. Like holy water. I have a relic of the Cave of St. Michael, which you're now familiar with. And I take a piece of the true cross that Christ died on. Those are my main sacramentals that I go in with.
What do you mean a piece of the original cross?
So the actual cross he died on, I have a piece of it that's in a special reliquary within it's like a crucifix with a secret compartment.
Where did you get that?
I got that from a bishop in Rome.
Why was it given to you?
Back maybe 20 years ago, it was much easier to get relics. Now they're all kind of monitored, and there's checkpoints to go through. There's a bunch of nuns that actually control who gets what. It's very difficult now. That is almost impossible to get unless you're a bishop. I also have a glove of Padre Pio. Do you know who Padre Pio is?
I don't.
So he's a saint that died really not too long ago, I think in 68. He was an Italian friar who had incredible gifts. So he could read your soul. He could see your sins just from looking at you. He could be in two places at the same time by locate.
What?
He levitated. He glowed. He had the wounds of Christ on his hands, his feet, and his side, and they bled constantly. So he always wore these gloves.
Someone wrote into my show, said, Michael, if you could meet the devil. I said, I don't know, I probably have met the devil a few times. Don't wish I...
Met him twice.
You've met him twice?
Personally.
How'd that go?
Not well the first time, because I wasn't
went
even
well the
seminary. I
second?
was discerning. I just came out of my life of sin. I joined Our Lady of Victory, like I mentioned, and this little old Polish priest who became my spiritual director. And I remember one day I went in and I said, you know, this job is killing me because, it was a sales position. I was entertaining big shots at all fancy restaurants every night, drinking. I said, I can't balance this with trying to live this new life. It's not working. So he said to me, well, let's do this. Why don't you, for the next month, you can call ahead or go to meet to the restaurant early and tell the bartender when you order a drink that it would be just club soda, no vodka. But you would order it publicly and then they won't know. I said, I could do that. So he said, no alcohol for a month.
That was a genius.
So it's the middle of the day, it's
idea.
like noon. I come out of the church and there's this beautiful, handsome man, custom tailored suit. And he's staring at me, which if you've ever lived in New York, you don't stare at people.
It's pretty unusual.
Very, like you put your eye, you don't,
Yeah.
it's
Really?
almost an attack, like this, I'm being attacked now, I have to fight. And I just was like, weird. So I turned to walk towards my office and he runs up next to me and he grabs me by the arm. Again, no guys do that. No guy grabs somebody by the arm and is like escorting them. And he goes, let's get a drink. And I just had chills go up and down my body. And I said, get away from me. And then I turned direction and went towards my apartment because it was closer. And I got to my apartment and I walked through the doors and the doors closed behind me. And I looked out and he was just laughing at me. And it was like, whew. So he leaves and I run back to the church. I go, Father, let me tell you what just happened. What do you think happened here? What is this? He goes, I told you, you're going to have a target on your back, so you got to be careful. And I said, was that who I think it was? And he goes, sounds like it.
Certainly seems that way.
I mean, that was just no random person for sure. So that really, it's frightened me, to be honest. I was like, that I didn't sign up for this at all. And then a few years later, I was on a vacation visiting an old banker friend down in Miami. And she set up a whole luncheon at this place called Nikki Beach, which really isn't appropriate for seminarians or priests.
Yeah.
It's it's the glitterati, the high-powered, wealthy people. It's bottle service on the beach.
Right.
And I'm just like, I don't know how I feel about this. And the two girls to my right, I knew both of them. Sandra was hosting, and my ex-boss, Christine, was with me. And they start looking at this guy across over by the other end of the deck. Like, oh my God, look at that guy. He's so handsome. My God, he's beautiful. And all of a sudden, Sandra's like, oh, he's coming over here. And I turn and I look, and it's him. It's the one that wanted to get the drink. Only now he's like shirtless in a bathing suit, and he walks up and he goes, "What are you doing here? I thought you were going to be a priest." And he goes, "This is my territory. You shouldn't be here." And both the girls got flipped out. They were like, they had the scare mechanism.
Like the face that I'm making right now?
Yeah, literally like, danger, Will Robinson. And Christine's like, "Get the check." And she threw money down. She's like, "We're out of here." And we left. But like, when those things happen, God allowed it, right? So for me, I felt like I wasn't supposed to be there.
That would make me think that either there is a devil or there's a demon someone's trying to get me to do some bad things. Let me know in the comments on what you guys think about this guy. I've never really heard about him before. This is kind of a new person to me. I don't know if I necessarily believe his stories, but nonetheless, they are fascinating and interesting. So let me know what you guys think of him in the comments.
You may have seen this footage before. This was actually captured back in 2020, and when it was posted, it went viral. This is a video coming from a man named Shy Unique. He was on a live explaining to, his audience that he had been dealing with weird things around his home. He and his family had been seeing werewolves in their backyard, different just paranormal events going on. And he had taken a picture of it, which he had shared. People, of course, didn't believe him, so they wanted him to show them his backyard. And as he does, he captures something completely out of this world. What looks like a werewolf racing across the back of his yard. And he caught it on camera. It's quick, but when you slow it down, it truly does look like a werewolf or dogman or some sort of cryptid. Take a look at this and tell me what you think.
Because I really think I just saw like, I'm gonna open my back door and show y'all that the picture came from in the back of my yard. Let me see if I can flip it. That's the exact motherfucking spot now. That's my backyard. I'm zooming in a little piece. This is the exact spot that I just.
Okay. I'm not too sure what that could have been. At first I thought maybe it's their cigarette smoke just blowing across the screen, but that actually looked like something running across the yard, like an ostrich in a way. That one is a good one. Let me know what you guys think of this, because that looked kind of real to me. Hey, if you haven't done so already and you're enjoying the episode, go ahead and give it a like. And if you're new to the channel, subscribe. For everyone that's currently watching and or subscribed, thank you so much for watching and thank you for being subscribed. Also, I would like to give a special shout out to all of my active members I have on my channel. Thank you guys so much for supporting the channel in that way.
Titanoboa may have just lost its title for the largest snake to ever exist to a new species described from India. It was found in this layer of a mine. This dates back around 47 million years ago to when this region would have been a swampy area along the coast. This new species, Vasuki indicus, is projected to be up to 15 meters long, which would put it a full meter longer than Titanoboa, 5 meters longer than the reticulated python, the longest snake alive today, and a full 13 meters longer than Jennifer Lopez is tall. The team of researchers that described this snake found 27 vertebrae, so it's not like it was just one or two, and some of these were actually articulated, so still in the position naturally they would have been in. There is some variation with their size estimate. Maximum 15.2 meters, minimum 10.9 meters. Part of the problem that leads to that is the fact that this snake did not have any really close members of its group that made it to the modern day. Although we did get really close. I was really interested, so here's our new species right here. We do have one from this group that makes it into the Pleistocene. So I went down that rabbit hole, and apparently long ago, all of these members went extinct except for one group that stayed, and continued evolving. They were in Australia, of course, which makes sense, and the last of that group only went extinct around 40,000 years ago, so they would have lived alongside our species in Australia for thousands of years before they ended up going extinct.
Boa tarde, família. Cheguei na massa. Pode jogar.
Jeez.
Pare não. Um atrás da outra.
Chega pra loja aí, ó.
Só pra minha família
Man, that
ver.
guy's
Homem é
putting some work
diferente.
in
Só pra fazer os
effortlessly.
stories de hoje. Ave Maria, é uma máquina. A Ismael da Melancia fica feliz com um arrumador desse, mano. É o melhor do mundo.
Gosta assim. Tá mostradinho. É. Como eu. Rapaz, eu tenho que dar. 3 dedos.
Eita, meu Deus!
3 dedos, cheguei.
Hey, you gotta respect the hustle. Someone that can work that hard and that effortlessly. For the guy that's tossing the watermelon and for the guy that's catching them. That's impressive nonetheless.
Plate, bowl. Alright, so I invented this bowl that folds completely flat to save space. And unlike normal bowls that are super annoying to load in your dishwasher, this one folds completely flat. So it takes up almost no space.
Actually, I wanted to see this. It holds liquid. Hey, I'm not gonna lie, that's actually kinda neat. I would like to know how durable they are and how easy it is to unfold them, because I could only imagine eating a bowl of soup out of your foldable bowl plate, and next thing you know, you just put a little too much pressure on one side of it and the whole thing unfolds and your soup's in your lap. That doesn't sound like a good time and a possible lawsuit waiting to happen, so this guy might need to be careful.
Let me tell you about some maps dating back from the 1500s from all over the world. All these different cartographers all over the world. So Europe,
Asia.
No, yeah, for real. They all depicted at the North Pole, there's these 4 islands that are equally spaced apart. And in the center was a magnetic mountain. But then you think of like Admiral Byrd, who was the guy that explored Antarctica and said that there's something here. Admiral Byrd went to the North Pole too. And he actually said that he flew into the Earth. There's an opening at the top of the world where you could fly into the Earth.
Shut up.
And this dude's a decorated admiral. Yeah. He said the U.S. needs to be prepared because what he discovered in Antarctica, they have craft that can fly from the south to the North Pole within minutes.
It sounds like a UFO.
Yeah, that's pretty.
One of the
pretty
maps said
intense.
that the rivers that pass through these islands, they said are 33 miles wide, and they only freeze for 3 months out of the year.
It's hot up there?
This is not a coincidence. This is Stephen Baldwin's latest post. And it's not a coincidence today I spoke on what Ali Carter said would crumble the world. Watch this post, and you can even run to his page and see if he really said this.
It is all of them. All of them. And not one will be able to escape.
And that is all he says. It's funny, his caption, "Run, Forrest, run." And as of late, we've seen LeBron James take a step down from the team. And I made a post about that today and said, "Oh, look, another white man taking down a..." Y'all are out of control. I'm not even white. I'm a mixed breed, but this color should not matter. What happens to children should matter. That is all. Have you ever been to prison? Have you ever seen that side of prison? Guess what? They come in all colors. You're either sick or you're not. But what is going to shock the world? Is it all the celebrities? Is that really shocking? We already are known to that. Politicians? I believe it will be part of the church. Because like Mr. Stephen Baldwin said, it's all of them. Not my words. Stephen Baldwin's words. Are y'all ready to have y'all realities crumble? Why you guys think we have so many UAP drones going around? Why you think we have defend, deny, depose going around? Why you think we have this heightened level of
Might be
distraction?
trying to distract
right
us.
Now. Wakey, wakey.
It really seems like these past 2 weeks, there's just been a plethora of civilian UFO videos.
My friend in New Jersey,
New Jersey's
way
the
before
big
everybody
one.
started talking about it, he's called me up.
He's like, dude, I'm seeing these drones. They're so big.
He goes, they're the size of SUVs.
With New Jersey, there's
They are
been at
crazy
least
looking.
1,000 people recorded drones in the sky. Some of them look a little suspect, but there's others that are just like, they're literally just sitting there and they're just kind of like doing this, and then there's like 3 of them.
If they are drones, what are you guys doing? Are you surveilling us now?
Yeah, and why is the FBI being like, we're going to investigate it? It's
Well,
if they're drones, like,
wouldn't
if
you know?
that are the size
Yeah.
of cars, you should probably figure that out pretty quick, you know?
In our airspace. That's the weirdest thing. If you're asking me what they're doing, they're collecting data on how people are going to react to this.
I also have this suspicion that this is some kind of test to see how we will react, how we will engage. In a way, I kind of wonder if it's to see how we'll react with weapons, if we'll start shooting them down without permission from authority and things like that, and give the reason to take guns away from America, or to keep our attention on the drone UFO UAPs because there's something much bigger that we have not even a single clue about going on somewhere. I do think that it's man-made. I'm pretty certain that if it was something that was a threat, the military would have been all over it a long time ago. Just like that weather balloon, that did not take long for the military to actually do something about that because that was an unknown threat to us, supposedly. This is not being acted upon as quickly or as effectively or efficiently. It just seems like they're like, yeah, we're gonna get to it. And I get that you can't just take down a whole bunch of unnamed crafts from the sky because it might land on people's houses or things like that. But with today's technology and capabilities, we could easily send drones up there of our own that people are safely away in their homes controlling these drones and going around and investigating and looking at these crafts. But it may be way more complex than that. But I think that that would be what people would do if they were truly worried about it being some kind of threat at least. Let me know in the comments about this. What is your thoughts? What is your opinions on this whole drone UFO UAP thing? Do you think it's a distraction? Do you think it might be someone spying on us? Or do you think it's a test of some sort that our government's trying to do to us? Let me know what you guys think about this.
Cillian Murphy is not in a good way and people are freaking out seeing this. Most of you probably know who Cillian Murphy is, star of many blockbusters, like Peaky Blinders, Oppenheimer, Inception, many more. People are not happy and are extremely worried after what's just happened. You may know this film, 28 Days Later, which you probably will never be able to watch again. I'll get to that. It's arguably one of, if not the best, zombie movies of all time. And then you got the sequel 28 Weeks Later. And the trailer for the new film 28 Years Later has just dropped. In the trailer, people spotted this scene, which appears to be Cillian Murphy. Many people thinking this isn't CGI, it isn't prosthetics, and it's actually him.
You mean...
He is a method
what?
actor, and when he did the film Oppenheimer, apparently he just ate 1 almond a day. Just leading many people to believe this
I do not
is
believe that
actually
that's
him.
truly his
Following
body
on from
type.
that, though, the movie 28 Days Later was on streaming sites
It's a
such
great
as
movie
Disney,
set,
but
though.
is now in the hands of the
28 Days
original
Later?
producer.
Great
Now
movie.
it is not on any streaming sites. Apparently you can't even find the DVD anywhere, so good luck. Let me know if you've got it, and if
I
you
own
do
the
think
DVD.
this is actually him.
Bring the drones to Tennessee. Come on, let's do it. You know how many of those sons of bitches will be down within the hour? There are too many people over here. Rednecks. Too many rednecks. That's rednecks. They take one look at that their old aircraft and be like, what in the hell?
Yeah, they would do that here too. Jeez. It looks like you got away safe at least.
Oh my fucking god, I'm freaking out.
Yeah, that'd be freaky. I've seen a lot of these videos on TikTok where the radio was making all these weird sounds. One thing I'm going to do while I'm taking this through the editor, I'm going to try to speed it up to see if I can understand what it's saying, because it sounds like it's heavily slowed down. So hopefully I can speed it up and we can all hear what it sounds like sped up, because maybe it's just a hoax of some sort. Maybe people are connecting their phones to the radio and it's just making these weird sounds. But I am really hoping while I'm editing, because obviously right now I'm reacting, I can't tell, but during editing, maybe we'll hear something out of that.
If you make it to 10, in love with her, but she's your best friend. Well, she's actually my friend, and we've been through a lot.
Hey, doing the editing process, honestly, it sounds like it was just a phone call that was really slowed down and in some parts reversed. So speeding up the audio and unreversing it kind of sounds like a phone conversation about breaking up with someone. That's what it sounds like to me. Leave a comment on what you think it is, but I'm pretty sure that this has now been debunked.
So throughout the video, if you look in the top window, little square, throughout the whole video, you can see a set of eyes, so check that out.
Hey, look at the bees outside my window.
It looks like someone, like, up against the window. I kind of see it. Let me know if you guys see it.
I think these drones are one of two things. But first, I think we can rule out a few things. I can confidently say these are not drones from a foreign adversary. If the US government even subtly suspected that these could be, let's say, Iranian drones with bombs on board of them, there is no way that they would allow them to operate this unscathed over civilian territory.
Yeah, I agree
that
with
would
that.
never happen, because if they were able to execute an attack, the blowback would be insane. So it's not a foreign adversary. The other thing I think we can rule out is hobbyists. Hobbyist drones aren't usually the size of cars, and they can't do some of the more impressive things that a lot of these drones have exhibited in terms of evasion and just moving around. So I think we can rule that out too. So like I said, that leaves one of two things. One is aliens, and all of the debate over whether aliens are real or not aside, I have one key issue with that perspective. Most reputable sightings that are associated with extraterrestrial UFOs have the same exact statement. They are silent. These things are loud as shit. To me, a loud vehicle means that it has a propulsion system that is human. Most of our propulsion is loud, and it's not easy to make it silent, so if these were silent things floating around, I might go, yeah, okay, this could be aliens, but I don't think so. So to me, the most likely outcome is that this is the US government testing their drone technology. The only part that throws me off about this is that they're doing it very brazenly in public, and I have a strange suspicion that they're doing that on purpose, but for what reason, I don't know. There's probably a good reason as to why they're doing it, and that's probably why they're not saying anything when they're pressed on getting answers, but you and I both know. The government knows what this stuff is, they're just not telling us. That's not like a conspiracy theorist thing, it's just like what the government has done forever when there are topics like this or secretive military programs. This is just what they do. So I'm sure there's a rationale. I don't know what it is, but I'm sure there is one. But all the other things like foreign adversaries and hobbyists and aliens, it just doesn't add up well enough. This adds up to me as a US government thing. And look, I could be wrong. You know, we could be facing an alien invasion tomorrow, or we could be having Iran probing for information about our infrastructure, or we could have hobbyists who have a ton of money just fucking with us. But given the fact that the government is going, well, we don't know, they know.
I pretty much agree with everything that this guy says, other than one thing. If it is by any chance extraterrestrial or maybe even interdimensional, I don't see why it would not have to not be noisy. Who's to say their technology is not noisier than our current technology? I would not rule that out single-handedly. But overall, I do kind of think that this is kind of our own governmental thing. So, I don't know, man. It's a confusing one, that's for sure. I think that there's something big going down somewhere, and they just want our eyes in the sky and away from whatever's going on. That's way more important. Alright guys, I'm gonna go ahead and end today's episode. As always, if you found any of the clips that we watched interesting, links are in the description down below. And with that being said, if it's morning or nighttime, have a good one.